What a horrible day in the stock market and the crypto markets. And like we have all heard that crypto is a hedge against inflation, that does not seem to be the case. But in this video, I'm going to be breaking down why crypto is actually a hedge against inflation and what it means for your crypto investments going forward into the future. Now, we are also going to take a look at the technical analysis on ETC and show you guys my position and what I plan on doing under certain price points and how much I plan to keep adding. Now, for anybody that is new to the channel, I am holding my ETC until we see $1,000 per coin. I am not paper handing this. I am holding this strong, and I hope this can be a symbol to some of you guys not to panic when things get tough. That is actually a buying opportunity for these long-term crypto winners, and I do think ETC is a long-term crypto winner. Now, with that being said, to understand inflation and how crypto is a hedge against inflation, you really have to understand inflation at its core. So we are really going to hone in on this in this video. But first, all I ask for you guys to do is hit that like button for me, tickle it, tap it, touch it, smash it. I don't care what you do or what you call it, but make it turn blue for me. And with that, let's get into it. But I almost forgot to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel if you are not already. We follow ETC on a daily basis, as well as CCIV and all the other top stocks and cryptos that we all love and invest in for the long term. Because on this channel, we are about growing wealth and for the long term. And we also go over everything else in between, everything you guys want to cover on this channel. Now, into the video, to really understand why crypto is a hedge against inflation, you have to understand inflation. And the Federal Reserve has targeted 2% is what they want inflation to be, and that's a healthy level, and it actually helps your investments grow, because essentially inflation at its core means, take for an example a $100 bill right now. If you have 2% inflation in the future, that means that $100 bill obviously will still be a $100 bill, but it will only buy you $98 worth of a good or service, so it makes your money less valuable. Right now, analysts are projecting in between 3% inflation on the low end and 7% inflation on the high end. And what are your options here? You can invest in dividend stocks, you can invest in government bonds, and you can invest in cryptos and real estate. But a lot of people aren't going to switch to real estate all of a sudden. If you're invested in that, that's what you do, right? And I do own a couple properties myself, but that's not the point of it. The point is, if you invest in a government bond that'll pay you a guaranteed 1.7%, but inflation is somewhere in between 3 and 7%, let's say it's 4%, then you are losing 2.3% on your investments year over year, and nobody wants to do that. If you have a significant amount of money, that's basically not an option right now. And if you invest in a Coca-Cola, let's say a 3% dividend yielding stock, you're still going to be losing in between 1 and 4% of your buying power on your investment. So that's not really a viable option. But crypto in this day and age, you can get in between 5 and 15% just holding some of these coins. Now, who knows for how long that'll actually last, because that's not sustainable long term, but you also have the chance of your investments going up significantly in value and much more outpacing inflation. So I think that is what a lot of people are going to start rotating into. As far as today and the sell-off we are seeing, I do think this is just because the whole market is selling off and people are liquidating, looking for the next move and what to buy next. That, in the most simple terms, is what inflation is and how crypto can be a hedge against inflation, and why it is actually one of the best investments I think people could make as of right now in this high inflationary market. Now, let's take a look at what ETC has been doing today, because it has been pretty bloody. So Ethereum Classic does sit at $97 and is fluctuating around quite a bit. And we did experience somewhat of a flash crash in between 7:40 p.m. and really hit our low at 8 p.m. at $76.88. And I did not catch this, or I would have bought quite a bit, because I've been saying on anything under $85 I am loading up on this. So I would have took that opportunity to buy some, and I actually did buy 2 coins today, about $200 worth, when it was around $100. So about 2 coins, a little bit less, like 0.2 less. But so I did buy today, and I did buy way higher than this, so I would have bought the dip right here, but it happened so fast. And this is actually a very good sign. It is telling you people are very, very quick to buy the dip on this, and I think a lot of it is going to be hedging against inflation, as well as the overall trade here is intact and does look really good relative to everything going on. I do think we are consolidating quite nicely around the $100 mark, like I've pointed out as a prior support level in other videos. Now, this drop right here was really a overall crypto market flash crash, and we have seen two of these, but like I said, it's good people are buying the dip. But this does come as Elon Musk said he is no longer accepting Bitcoin as payment for Teslas, citing environmental factors. And it is quite crazy, honestly, how much power Bitcoin uses. It's somewhere around 700 kilowatt hours, which will power a normal house for like 30 days. So it is a lot of power that people are using. Most people do agree that it is renewable energy, somewhere around 73% of the power used to mine Bitcoin, and that is per transaction too, just so you guys know. But they do think that a lot of it is renewable energy, so I don't see Bitcoin like crashing or anything, but this is definitely a negative factor on an already suppressed crypto market over the past couple of days. Now, as for the in-depth technical analysis, like I pointed out in the last video, and I keep these charts exactly the same to come back and revise on this, but I did point out my $85 mark. This line right here is my buy heavy mark. If we fall under this, where we really started to get some nice volume coming in last time, and then we had our major leg up, this is my buy heavy level under $85. So I would have bought right here when we did briefly go under $85 to about $74, like I already told you guys. I would have bought heavy, but I didn't get the chance to. I was busy and didn't see that this was actually happening. But as far as where I really think we will consolidate out as far as a support is around $100 right now. That is where we've seen our major leg up to about 190 at the high. It definitely went higher than 172 on Robinhood, and that is where I own my ETC as of right now. But I do think the $100 level is going to be a nice consolidation point, just because, like I said, that's where we started to leg up. We've seen this one bottom during the last flash crash pretty much instantly bounced off of it, and we even went under a little bit, like $95, but instantly bounced up. And then we have been consolidating in between the 100 and pretty much the 115 very, very nicely. Like, if you were going to sell out of your positions, you should have already. You shouldn't be, waiting for it to go down anymore. I'm not saying you guys should or you shouldn't, but if you were going to, you probably should have already. Now, we are under this $100 mark right now by about $5. ETC on Robinhood says it's $95.10, but I do expect to relatively shortly go above the $100 level right now, because people are just, quite frankly, buying the dip anything under $100, given the strong technical analysis that we do see. But it does look like we are in a slightly bearish trend right now. But I do think when the market does come to its senses and understands that crypto is somewhat of a hedge against inflation, I mean, what choice do you really have? What do you invest in that is going to outpace inflation and crypto that is on the safer side? And I'm not saying crypto is safe, because it's not by any means, but what is safe when inflation is in between 4 and 7%? Nothing. So, but like I said, we are in a very bearish downtrend. That kind of gets me off topic, but because it's such a highly debated topic, but I do think crypto is a good hedge. Now, we are in a very bearish pattern. You could see hitting the lows right here on this trend line, 1, 2, 3, and I do expect a bounce up, like I said, to about the $100 mark. And I really don't want to mark it, because I don't want this chart to get too crazy where you can't even understand what you put these lines on here for. But I do expect a bounce up, considering that we did hit 3 bottoms. But I do want to keep that line up there. We hit 3 bottoms in this trend line going down, and I do expect to bounce up from here. Now, it does look like we are in a bearish trend, but this can reverse at any time given the marketplace that we are in. And obviously we can see cryptos in pretty much 2 days go from 95 doubling to about 190. So anything can happen at this point. Just if we do fall under 85, I am willing to buy a lot of ETC and literally load the boat. Anything under that is just a no-brainer. if we go to $50, why would you not? People were comfortable buying this in the 150 range, just like I was. My average cost was 142, so I'd be much happier buying this at $50 and riding the wave. It's going to be ups and downs. Just know that if you're not willing to take that kind of risk and see that kind of fluctuation, then you shouldn't be buying this in the first place. And I think that's pretty much a guarantee, but I did want to point that out for you guys. And like I said, I did buy about $200 worth today, 0.99 Ethereum in this transaction, and then 0.88, this one at 114 and this other one at 100. So I did add almost 2 coins today, and actually I will buy $100 more right now, by a little bit over 1 coin. And if we do fall under 85, that is where I am looking to load the boat, and I have a couple $1,000s ready to invest in this if we do get under that level. Now, I would probably let it find a support if we did fall under 85, but I would be watching it very closely to add to my position. And like it just showed, purchase 1.05 Ethereum Classics, and that is that. That is all for this video. If you guys got anything useful out of it, and hopefully you did, you got a little econ lesson about inflation and why crypto is a hedge against inflation, hit that like button for me. Consider subscribing to the channel as well as hitting the notification bell if you want to stay up to date with all of these videos and the YouTube portfolio, which we'll be starting very shortly, where we will be depositing $50 a week, 60% into growth, 40% into dividend, with crypto mixed in here and there, and tracking the growth on this channel for 10 to 20 years, maybe even longer. I don't plan to sell anything and show you guys that you can get exceptional above market returns. I'm talking 20 to 70 or even higher percentage points per year, and protect your money at the same time and play it on the relatively safe side. So make sure to do all that, hit the like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Take care.